We are good to go.
We'll open a special meeting with a roll call, please.
Sherry Boyer is absent. James Ellis,
Here.
Stephen Erman,
Here.
Madeline Fleury, present. Justice Martin,
Present.
Archie McKee,
Here.
Nate Manette.
Here.
Also present Jeremy Evans, Maria Bourgeois, Paul Ellis, and Trevor Buchanan from the Telegram.
Very good. Quorum being present, I like that noted. And also, we are now to this next item to accept the agenda. I have one addition I'd like to make. It's a committee appointment when we got to committee reports. Public comments. Being none, we'll move on to the approval of the previous minutes of September 14th, which I think we've already done. Correct?
We need to do them. We need to do them again.
Okay.
Starting fresh.
I'll move to approve the minutes
September 14th.
of September 14th.
Second, anybody?
I'll second it.
Second by Justice. Any discussion? There being no discussion, we'll assume the question's been moved. All those in favor of accepting the minutes of the September 14th meeting, please signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed, nay. Very good. Bills and communications, Jeremy?
No,
No bills and communications. Committee reports. If there are any significant changes in any of the committee reports since the last meeting, please indicate that by now.
Since I got a few comments to make. If that's all right. Is this the place to make them?
We passed it, but go ahead.
You move too fast for me. Anyway, as part of the Audit and Finance Committee, after our last meeting was adjourned a little bit prematurely, and we had some extra time after that, and Madeline and Nate and myself worked with Paul, and we negotiated our way through the budgets that we're about to consider passing. And Paul was very informative and was able to answer a lot of the questions, well, not a lot, all of the questions that we had. So I appreciate Paul sticking around and the other two members of the Finance Committee. So thank you.
And I'll report for economic development as the chair of the committee. Just to note that although the committee has not met, since the last meeting, there has been some interest in the purchase of lease or some of our properties. The IDA or EDC is the owner of basically industrial properties in 3 towns. And those discussions, the details of that are at this point proprietary and will be taken into consideration by the board in subsequent executive sessions.
Thank you, Steve. I have an appointment to make to the Downtown Revitalization and Tourism Committee. Our newest member, Nate Manette. I'd like to appoint him to that committee. And even though there may be one more person than we normally have, I just like to explain to you what we'll be doing with the committees at the end of this year, beginning of next year, when we reorganize ourselves. Some of these committees are getting a lot of work, and the one that probably may wind up being split is the Downtown Revitalization and the Tourism Committee. So in other words, we'll probably have a tourism committee separate from Downtown Revitalization. So if there's anybody that would like to put in a bid, if you will, for either of those 2 committees, just keep it in mind. And when we get to reorganization, then we'll talk about where people go. That's the end of that committee's report. Anything from governance?
Well, we met a couple weeks ago to talk about the open meeting law and the changes to it, or reverting back to the way it used to be. So we are presenting a resolution today to revise, to add, because of the open meeting law, that we will be able to do video conferencing on an exceptional basis. So that'll be hopefully voted on today. We're gonna present that.
Very good. I think what I can do. Why don't we add that, going back, Maria? We'll add that to the agenda. And then we'll go ahead and, are you ready to make that?
It's on there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
on the
it's this
agenda.
resolution right there.
Oh, I see,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah,
First
sorry.
one. So,
thank you. Previous discussion is inoperative. All right, treasurer's report, anything to add to it?
Nothing more.
Okay.
It's a work in progress and making progress.
Very good. Old business,
We gotta have a motion, Jim, for treasurer's report.
So moved.
didn't we accept it the last time?
No.
I'll
Yeah, we-
second.
So,
All those in favor of the treasurer's report signify by saying aye.
Aye. Steve Secondbury.
Gotcha.
Okay.
New business.
Nope.
Resolution 2022-30, video conferencing.
-12.
Excuse me.
It's the IDA agenda, Jim. It's -12.
Yeah, we're on idea.
We got 30 and 31 EDC.
We're on
Okay,
idea.
We're back to the old, okay, we're back to the old. Okay, let's do 2022-12.
Yeah.
Video conferencing. Madam,
Oh, me?
is there anything to add to the resolution or anything you care to say in support of?
Well, I think
If
just,
not, go ahead. Jesus,
oh,
I hate this.
no, all it really is doing is just allowing us as an IDA to do video conferencing on an individual on exception basis. So, because currently, since the laws have been changed, it doesn't state that you can do that, so we had to add it into our bylaws. I believe we probably have to update them to add that in if this gets approved.
Very good, thank you. Justice, I saw your hand up.
I was just gonna make a motion to bring it to the table, but
Very good. Motion having been made. Second,
Out of practice.
second to the motion.
I'll second.
Second, Madeline. Roll call vote, Maria.
Okay, this is to adopt resolution 2022-12 for video conferencing. Sherry Boye is absent. James Ellis,
Yes.
Stephen Erman,
Yes.
Madeline Flurry,
Yes.
Justice Martin,
yes.
Archie McKee,
Yes.
Nate Manette.
yes.
Okay, so it's adopted.
Can I
Thank you.
mention something about this?
Yes,
Implementing this resolution?
yes.
So just for, Madeline alluded to it, but I'd like to just remind the board of a couple things. So to properly follow and implement this option, it's a couple things we need to keep in mind. First is Maria will be, as usual, reaching out to everybody with sending the public notice and asking everyone if they will be attending. It takes on even more importance, in my request to the board is that you respond affirmatively to Maria when she sends out the notice, because this change requires us to have a quorum in person. So we have to have 4 people in person at a noticed location. We obviously do today, but we have to have 4. And so that's one part of this. And the other part is that what the good thing about this change is that it allows members to be on video conference. And the way the law is written and our resolution is written, it says you're supposed to be physically present unless the member is unable to be physically present at such meeting location due to extraordinary circumstances, including disability, illness, caregiving responsibilities, or any other significant or unexpected factor or event which precludes the member's physical attendance at such meeting. So really, this is your prerogative. I mean, it's not my job or the board's job to police whether or not it's an extraordinary circumstance. You'll make that judgment call. However, we need to know ahead of time so that we can make sure we have a quorum. Because if we don't have 4 people in attendance, physical attendance, then we can't have a meeting. So this is a worst case scenario, maybe a crazy example, but we can't have 4 members email or call Maria up 3 hours before the meeting and say, you know what, I've got an extraordinary circumstance and I'm just going to be on Zoom, because all of a sudden we won't have a quorum and we won't be able to have a meeting. If that were the case, if she did get that call, we would just cancel the meeting because we just can't have one. So bottom line is we're asking all of you as members to make sure you respond to Maria and let her know what your circumstances are going to be, so that with proper notice, so we can make sure we've got a quorum in both locations. Well, actually, it doesn't have to be in both locations, just physically present. We need 4 people, and we need your help to do that effectively.
So if 6 people were gonna attend the meeting, we'd be okay with 3 here and 3 up in Malone.
Sure, yeah, that's
Okay.
fine.
I just want to make sure of that
Yeah.
because it didn't sound that way.
No, it because the reason is because we notice both places
Okay.
as a place where the public can come to participate in the meeting.
Does weather constitute an unusual circumstance?
I would think weather would count, yeah, which is certainly a reality around here, but,
Who's it ever?
okay, so thank you for that. Allow me to provide that explanation.
I'd like to add to that, maybe during our retreat, we can talk about communications, especially back and forth with Maria. I want to do something about getting 6, 7 people out of 7 to respond. And that's important. So. Okay, let's see, resolution 2022-13, we struck.
No, we have that on there now. We were going to strike it last week, but we've now had those
Well,
further discussions and we put it back
I
on.
understand, but was it tabled or just?
It was
struck?
not tabled.
It was not tabled?
No,
Okay.
so we're starting over.
Different motion. if that
Yep,
was-
starting over.
Just to refresh everybody, I think I moved to strike it because there was a request by some members to be able to have discussions
Right.
further about the budget and
Which has since-
before we took a vote. And
Since
that's been done.
Right.
So we're good.
And responding to that, those that had questions, I think I heard Archie say as chairman of the Audit and Finance Committee that the questions that seem to surface have been answered. Am I correct, Arch?
That's correct, yes.
Okay. Therefore, now let's see what we do with 2022-13. We have to approve the budget by a certain date when I think we're within that, we're in that time frame, so we're okay.
Yeah.
Any further questions on the proposed budget for 22-23? There being none, is there a motion to adopt resolution 2022-13 to approve the 2023 budget?
I'll make motion.
Motion by Nate. Second,
Second,
Archie, second.
Archie, second. Questions? Any discussion? There being no discussion, the chair will assume that the question has been moved. Maria, would you do the roll call vote, please?
Sure, this is to adopt resolution 2022-13, approving the 2023 budget. Sherry Boye is absent. James Ellis,
Yes.
Stephen Erman,
Yes.
Madeline Flurry,
Yes.
Justice Martin,
Yes.
Archie McKee,
Yes.
Nate Manette.
Yes.
Resolution is adopted.
Thank you. And we now have an executive session proposed to talk about acquisition, sale, or lease of property.
For the IDA, we are no longer in need of an executive session. So we're good. We do need an executive session for the EDC, but for IDA, we do not need one.
All right. It's hard working with two agendas. Please excuse me. So what do I do?
We are ready to announce the day of the next meeting and close the meeting.
We announce the date of the next meeting for us will be November 9, 2022. And a motion to adjourn, please.
I'll move to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn this part of the meeting by Steve, second.
I'll second.
Madeline?
Second, Madeline. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
All right.
Opposed, nay.